Thank you for tuning in. Today we have with us Ms. Preeti Singh, Director of Information Security and GRC at OSTTRA. Preeti has been in the industry for over a decade now, and she's an expert in cybersecurity and compliance-related topics. Welcome, Preeti. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Supriya. I think this is the third time when we are interacting about some different cybersecurity topic.
Absolutely, Preeti. And like always, it's always a pleasure to have you on board with us and learn from you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Likewise.
We are all aware that Cybersecurity Awareness Month is almost come to an end, and we spoke to a lot of experts over the past month, right? One prominent thought that came across was the human element in cybersecurity. One thing is the fact that there are not enough cybersecurity professionals available in India, and also the human weaknesses. And they always said that employees are the weakest link in a cybersecurity framework of an organization. So I was hoping to learn from you on this topic. As cyber threats evolve, social engineering remains a constant threat that targets human vulnerabilities. What are some innovative strategies or training programs that can be implemented to increase the organization's human firewall against social engineering attacks?
See, in the digital world, for each of us, secure everything becomes so easy. It looks like just a click. You can make the payments, you can access any kind of a website, you can get any kind of information. But I believe everything comes with some or other kind of a risk as well. And then it's really become very, very important for each of us to focus somewhere around the building a culture of security and awareness. To strengthen the human firewall, organization have to adopt a comprehensive training program. Training program includes multiple things. The first thing is that you need to understand your business, understand the roles and responsibilities in the organization, and build a training program which cater different roles in the company. Right? Suppose if somebody is in finance, they are likely to expose to a different kind of a risk as compared to the one who is developing an application. So role-based training, I would say there should be. The second one is gamified training, because trainings are always boring. So if you want that your employee should practice security, there should be some new advanced gamified training should be there. The third one is you need to focus that training should be micro, that the small training, so that people will tend to do that. Instead of having 1 hour long training program, you should make a regular small micro training so that people will doing those trainings on a regular basis. The most critical human aspect is phishing. You get a lot of phishing emails, and those emails are getting sophisticated day by day. And in that scenario, it becomes for organization very important that they need to conduct phishing simulation exercise on a regular basis. When you do the phishing simulation, there should be another step that employees should get to know that this was the phishing simulation exercise, and you failed the phish exam, and that's where you need to do a training. And those trainings should be the micro training so that people will complete those training. There should be awareness around reporting of the incident. If somebody knows that it's a phishing, if the person is not reporting those phishing to the security team, you cannot block those IPs. So it's very important to understand that identifying phishing is a good, but if you are not reporting those phishing, you are at halfway. So reporting is another aspect that they should be educating their employees. I will say peer workshop is also one thing that they need to consider, so that one person can narrate their story, that what they face in their life related to the security challenges and how they come out of that particular challenge, and similarly the other peers. So peer-led workshops should be there, which create a collaborative atmosphere where employee can share their experiences and tips. And finally, I will say that fostering a culture of openness is crucial, where employee feel comfortable discussing security concerns and reporting anything which seems suspicious to them. This support environment which helps reinforce good quality training practices across the organization. I think this is my take to your question.
And you're right. The phishing attacks are becoming more and more sophisticated as each and every day passes, and there is now something called as phishing as a service. And to add to that, AI generated deepfakes are there. So how do you foresee the nature of social engineering evolving, and what proactive measures can security teams adopt to mitigate these emerging threats?
I mean, technology advances, I will say, every second nowadays. So do the tactics used by the criminals. Because they are also using technologies. If our technologies advances, they are, the way of hacking the systems is also getting advanced day by day. With the rise of phishing as a service and the AI generated deepfakes, social engineering threats are becoming more sophisticated, and this is making increasingly challenging for individual as well as for the organization to recognize those kind of attacks and also respond them on time. We heard this phrase multiple times that great power come with great responsibility. I think digitalization is same. You get lot of facility with the digital and digitalization progress, but at the same time there are a lot of challenges are also on your way with regards to this information and cybersecurity, and you need to handle these technologies responsibility with full responsibility. To counter these emerging threats, security teams should implement a layered defense mechanism where there should be security tools, technology monitoring tools, and technology should be there. Each layer should be protected with the right set of threat detection, monitoring, and taking action. But at the same time, continuous education is something where organization has to focus right now. I was keep on saying and writing multiple places, information and cybersecurity is not just a technical stuff. It is also a human related um, thing, and where human has to play a vital role in securing the organization. So, as I already mentioned above, that they need to conduct a lot of security trainings. They need to create an environment where employees should understand that it's not just the responsibility of information security team and the cyber security team to protect the company from any kind of a cyber attack and the data leakage. It's their responsibility as well. They are also one of the strongest firewall to protect organization from any kind of attack. So with that, I would like to say that I think employee has to understand their role and responsibility in protecting company from cybersecurity and information security, whether it's coming through a social engineering or it is coming through any other way. But they should know that which kind of a suspicious behavior they need to report, whom to report, how quickly they need to report, and in case if their machine is behaving badly, what actions are required they need to perform. Probably I think with that way I can say that it doesn't matter how sophisticated cyber attacks are happening. If employee firewall is strong, there are chances you can protect yourself from any kind of a cyber attack.
Right. You're absolutely right there, Preeti. And, like you mentioned, that every company has sort of technical defenses, and most of them focus on, many security programs focus on the technical defenses. But behavioral change is also crucial to counter social engineering. So, how do you sort of balance the technical controls with a culture of awareness? And what measurable impact have you seen on employee vigilance?
Okay, so I come from a company where we focus a lot on development because we are a product company. And security is not just a awareness piece. You should also imbibe security in your day-to-day task. So I think balancing technical control with the culture of awareness requires a holistic approach where security should be integrated into organizational ethos. Organization can achieve this by combining robust technology defenses like your firewalls, intrusion detection system, your XDR, EDR, encryption, and multiple more controls. But at the same time, we need to educate about these controls to your employees, right? For our application development, you will require a different kind of a security so that your secure product move into production, right? Similarly, the one who is working on your machines, like the administrators who has access to build the machine, they should know that what are the basic security control while building a machine. The third one is the employee who's working on day-to-day basis data. They should know that when data is at rest, when data is in motion, and when data is stored somewhere. What are the security controls that they should be thinking of while working on these three areas of the data? Regular assessments, companies should do regular assessment through different kind of audit to understand what is the awareness of employee with regards to the security. And another thing is that you need to make employee responsible for their assets, their information. They should know that in case if something happened to that asset and to that information, which they are liable to maintain and secure, probably they can be penalized, or there can be some kind of a governance action can be imposed on them. That point of time, you can build a culture both where you can focus on your innovation, development, business, building the trust to the customer, and at the same time you can balance also the need of security, which will become your part of day-to-day operation, not just as a one activity that you'll be doing separately. No, security should be imbibed, integrated into your day-to-day operation. That is what that I think when it comes to behavioral change in the organization. Not just I do not want to just focus on social engineering, because social engineering is one aspect. There are multiple aspects right now involved with the employee, where employee become the weakest link, and because of that, lot of security flaws are happening to the companies. And that's where I always say that security is your day-to-day job. You cannot uh, imbibe security during October month, or you cannot create security awareness culture. Just like in US, they celebrate somewhere in November 30th November as a security day. No, those days are important just to create awareness that why security months are being created. But at the same time, you should be aware, you should be vigilant 24/7 to have a secure environment for the organization and even for yourself.
You need to be vigilant 24/7, but when it comes to there are some natural tendencies in all of us, and attackers often exploit these natural tendencies of trust and helpfulness in employees. If I had to take my example, I received a link from my relative, a very close relative, a couple of days ago. I didn't know. I just clicked on the link and I opened it and I realized it's a phishing link. She herself, she fell for it from another friend. So how can
Yeah.
organizations sort of work to retain a supportive work culture while equipping employees with the skepticism? I mean, most of us lack that skepticism when it comes to our own people. How can they retain that skepticism needed to counter social engineering attempts?
Organization, they do faces challenges of social engineering. I do agree, where attackers exploit employees' natural trust and helpfulness. Um, they create those sophisticated emails which looks pretty close to the emails which are coming from their leaders, the HR, maybe if, during the tax paying time from the taxpayer, and because of that they fall for those traps, and they end up sharing some kind of information or clicking at the link, right? And this is not something that is new to us. We are seeing this from years now. So the first thing I will say that it's a collective responsibility of both employer as well as the employee. So employee should consider this as a responsibility of their day-to-day task. Security is now also one of the responsibility of their KRIs, and employer has to put efforts, money, tool, and technology in place to establish this message across the organization. Because if employee is not aware that what are information security, what are cyber security is all about, how to identify if it's a fake or it's a real email, how to respond in case if you get such kind of emails or if such kind of a message. Till the time I believe that they get such kind of emails, they click on those emails, and the data will keep on flowing from organization machine to the hacker machine. Creating safe space for role-playing scenarios allows employee to practice identifying threats in a supportive environment, right? Recognizing and rewarding those who spot suspicious activity enforces this behavior and empowers employee. So when I say this here, I am in this profession from last 15 years, and in all my organization where I work, first I established the framework where I established that which kind of a training are needed for the employees. The second one is that I roll out that training program along with some kind of a reward and recognition program, where we say that if you complete so and so training, if you identify phishing, if you report phishing, right, there will be a grading system With that grade, whoever will top 20 or top 30, there will be reward at the end of the year. I think motivating people with such kind of a motivation is also important, so that they will start focusing more on these security challenges and reporting them. Sometimes employee identify it's a phishing, but they don't report because they feel that, oh, reporting is not their responsibility, because they are not aware that once they report any email as a phishing email, after that IT or the security team, they will take further action so that they will reduce that kind of a traffic to the company for the future. So future protection is also important, and which is completely depend on the reporting, the number of emails reported to those particular teams. So I think you should set up reward and recognition program as well, where you can encourage your team to report these kind of phishing emails. Finally, I will say that open forums for discussing security concerns is required, which promote trust and communication within the employees, within the teams. When employees feel comfortable sharing their thoughts, they are more likely to engage actively in protecting the organization data. I think by balancing support with the vigilance, organization can strengthen their overall security. That's my take on this question.
That was a very interesting take on motivating employees to report phishing attacks and things like that, Preeti. I hope more organizations take up this approach. It certainly seems like it's very effective. So, lastly, Preeti, remote work and hybrid models, right? They've become the norm now, especially post COVID. So,
Yeah.
employees are they're opening up their laptops off in off network areas, and they're also getting targeted by off network attacks. So there are multiple endpoints that companies now need to secure. So what would you advise? What specific measures or tools can companies adopt to protect employees from attacks in decentralized environments?
See, work from home, remote working is a new norm nowadays. Hybrid model, organizations also feel that within the hybrid model, employee is happy at the same time. They are also safeguarding some of their operational costs, right? It's a win-win situation for both of them. But at the same time, the employee who are taking their machine at home, it's kind of a risk which is open to all the organization. But yes, this risk can be minimized if organizations are vigilant about remote working, and if they know that what are the right controls that organization need to incorporate in the machine. That's the first thing. You should have a VPN, right? Employee cannot work without VPN while they are working from home. Laptop, it cannot give access to any internet if it's not encrypted, right? The third one is that in the machine, it should be password protected, and also it will be good if it's like a dual factor authentication, like a face recognition or some kind of a password, or some kind of authenticator application should be enabled. um, After that, education of the employees is also needed, right? They should know that connecting your machine to the public Wi-Fi is very dangerous. Why it is dangerous? How the virus can transfer into a machine? That's the first thing. While they are working on public places, considering they have a laptop, they can take their laptop anywhere, not just at home. So while they are working from the public places, they should not, work somewhere where anyone can come and see their screens. Another thing is that the Wi-Fi, even for their home Wi-Fi, they should know that how to check the Wi-Fi setting, password. What is the strength of the Wi-Fi password that should be acceptable in the laptop machine? How to ensure that your Wi-Fi is encrypted? Encryption should also be uh, of a certain byte which is actually secure. You cannot go for the encryption which is like ages old. We should go with the encryption which is the need of the today's time, right? And organizations should utilize endpoint security solution to monitor the device of unusual activities. And unusual activity, when I say that, suppose I am from Gurgaon. Ideally, I should be working from Gurgaon if it's a remote work. And if tomorrow my laptop or my IP address shows, login from somewhere else in Africa or somewhere else, probably there should be certain monitoring tool they need to, generate an alert. That means maybe your machine is hacked, and the hacker who's accessing my machine, he is sitting in some different location whose internet IP shows from the Africa, right? So these kind of endpoint monitoring control should also be there in the machine, so that you can identify any kind of a threat on on a timely basis. So these are few things that I really want to say when you need to protect yourself while working from home, hybrid, or or from any location which is not on your company network.
Thank you so much, Preeti. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And I must say, I always leave as a more educated person after, speaking with you. And I really second your thought and appreciate the fact that you mentioned that cybersecurity is a collective responsibility, right? I mean, all of us are responsible for, maintaining a cyber security. And it's not just the company's IT team or just a company's responsibility to ensure that these attacks do not happen. And I really appreciate you for bringing it out there. Thank you so much, Preeti. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you, Supriya. Thank you so much for providing me this opportunity. And yeah, it was great. And I hope we'll connect more and discuss such kind of a topic again.